Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The stakeholders of All Progressive Congress (APC) in the Southeast have formally endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term ahead of the 2027 general elections, pledging massive electoral support. Speaking at a regional stakeholders meeting in Enugu, Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma said the South must end political isolation and strengthen its relevance at the center. He cited the growing presence of the APC in the region and urged voters to support Tinubu to consolidate ongoing economic and security reforms. Former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, that is APC, and ex-governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has returned to Nigeria after spending several weeks on vacation in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and is set to resume political engagements. According to statements issued by his chief of staff, Mohammed Garba, Ganduje will begin a series of wide-ranging consultations and stakeholders meetings aimed at reviewing recent political developments in Kano State and engaging party leaders and critical stakeholders on the evolving political landscape. The statement also said Ganduje will participate in the ongoing APC nationwide electronic membership registration, that is, e-registration exercise, and initiate a pioneer as national chairman as part of his continued commitment to strengthening party structures, promoting inclusive dialogue, and supporting democratic consolidation within the APC, particularly in Kano State. The federal government has directed federal hospitals nationwide to enforce a no-work, no-pay policy on joint health sector unions, that is, JOHESU members participating in the ongoing strike, while ensuring emergency services remain operational. The directive, issued by the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and signed by the Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Disu Adejoke, takes effect from January 2026 and apply to all categories of staff involved in industrial action. Hospital managements were also instructed to protect staff willing to work, secure facilities, and submit regular reports on service delivery. Meanwhile, medical doctors across Edo states have commenced a strike action following the abduction of their colleague, Dr. Ibrahim Babatunde, citing growing insecurity and fear for their lives despite assurances from security agencies that efforts are on the way to secure his release. The industrial action has forced several hospitals across the state to operate at minimal capacity, leaving patients and their families distressed as access to essential and emergency medical care becomes increasingly limited. Doctors' leaders says the strike reflects a broader pattern of attack on health workers nationwide and have urged authorities to urgently improve security to prevent further disruption to healthcare delivery. In the meantime, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has insisted on embarking on the planned industrial action scheduled for January 12, despite an order by the National Industrial Court stopping the move. According to the association's president, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman, only the National Executive Council of the union can stop the planned strike. He said members of the association were not shaken by the court order, alleging that the government had not acted in good faith despite association's decision to suspend its earlier strike in November 2025. Dr. Suleiman added that the association is still engaging the federal government and expressed optimism that the impasse could be resolved over the weekend. Now, away from the health sector, let's move from the health matter. Now, the federal government is set to formally sign an agreement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities following weeks of negotiation. The developments may be linked to the 40% salary increase for academic staff proposed by the federal government last month and accepted by the union. A circular issued by the Ministry of Education advised Vice Chancellor, registrars of federal universities to witness the signing ceremony scheduled for Wednesday, January 14, 2026 in Abuja. The Ministry of Works and Housing, the Minister of Works and Housing, David Umahi, has issued a firm warning to contractors handling federal road projects, stressing that delays and poor supervision will no longer be tolerated. The minister gave the warning during an inspection visit to the ongoing expansion of the Maraba-Kefi Expressway, a 43-kilometer project being handled by China Harbour Engineering Company. Kabir Hassan reports.
The Minister, David Umahi, led officials of the Ministry of Works on an on-the-spot assessment of the Maraba-Kefi Road corridor, where he expressed dissatisfaction with the pace of the work and compliance with the earlier directive. The Minister ordered the contractors to complete and hand over the project on or before February 2026, directing the submission of a detailed work timetable and a written commitment to meet the deadline.
Giving you end of February to hand over this job.
During the inspection, Senator Umahi also directed the immediate removal of hard moduled caps along the road, the concreting of the median, and the installation of solar power streetlights across the entire stretch. He blamed lapses on poor supervision by some of the ministry officials, warning that negligence will attract sanctions.
I'm directing the Farm Secretary to remove the controller, effective from today, and pushed him to my office to go and learn how to obey instructions. And the Farm Secretary will post another controller immediately, who will take over from you and who will learn to obey instructions.
And to ensure Director Information, note this, 2026 an action year, and nobody will be spared. Discipline will be our watchword. Diligence is our watchword. Doing the work we are paid to do is our watchword, and nobody will be spared.
As part of the disciplinary measures, the minister ordered the immediate removal of a controller of works accused of issuing certificate for uncompleted jobs, declaring 2026 an action year of discipline. As part of the disciplinary measures, the minister ordered the immediate removal of a controller of works accused of issuing certificate for uncompleted jobs, declaring 2026 an action year full discipline, diligence, and accountability. The inspection included stepovers at strategic locations along the corridor, including the Kefi flyover, as the minister reiterated the federal government resolve to ensure quality road infrastructure for Nigerians. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
A troubling picture of Nigeria's economic future is coming into focus as a new report by PricewaterhouseCoopers warns that rising inflation and weak income growth could push millions more Nigerians into poverty by 2026. For more residents of Abuja, the impact of this economic pressure is also being felt in daily struggles to afford food, transportation, and basic necessities. Again, Kabir Hassan reports.
A recent report by the PricewaterhouseCoopers projected that about 141 million Nigerians, nearly 62% of the population, could be living in poverty by 2026. The report raises concern that despite economic reforms and signs of macroeconomic stability, rising cost of living and weak income growth continue to place severe pressure on household welfare. In the streets of Abuja, the nation's capital, these challenges are already affecting market, traders, transport workers, and other informal sectors.
It has affected our daily earnings so much in the sense that well, you look at the income is not commensurate to what is there in the market again. So what you receive and what you used to do it, you cannot be able to achieve that now again.
When you look at the current situation of the nation, It's clear that many people are suffering. While the prices of some items have dropped significantly, the major challenge remains the lack of income. People simply do not have money and has made life very difficult for many households. Comparing the situation now to what it was before, the difference is clear and cannot be ignored. The level of hardship has increased, and it is contributing to the growing rate of poverty across the country.
Responses from residents in Abuja highlight a common concern. Incomes are not keeping pace with the rising cost of living. Many say customers now buy less. Transport costs have reduced daily earnings, and survival has become more difficult. This view mirrors PwC's warning that without real income growth and targeted intervention, poverty levels may continue to rise. As Nigeria closes towards 2026, the PwC's report serves as a stark reminder that economic reforms must translate into tangible improvement in the lives of ordinary citizens. Without inclusive policies that reduce living costs and boost household incomes, the fight against poverty may remain an uphill task. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
Imo State has launched a new entrepreneurship program at the Imo Digital City in Owerri as part of effort to strengthen its digital economy and supporting young innovators. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
Imo State has taken another step in its push towards a technology-driven economy with the launch of the Founder Dojo Boot Camp at the Imo Digital City in Owerri. The program brings together young innovators and aspiring entrepreneurs for practical trainings focused on turning ideas into viable businesses. Governor Hope Uzodinma, declaring the program open, says the state is shifting attention from infrastructure development to building enterprise that can create jobs and grow the economy.
Imo State is rapidly emerging as Nigeria's hub for digital talent. Your talent can now have a place to grow. As I always maintain, skills alone are not enough. Knowledge must be transformed into enterprise. Our goal is here to help you take that idea in your head and turn it into a real business.
The managing director of Imo Digital City Limited, Stella Izenduka, says the facility was created to provide a supportive environment for young founders to develop their ideas into businesses.
This city is here to provide you the environment, the tools, and the partnership needed for your success. Your Excellency, sir, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, CON, on behalf of the management and staff of Imo Digital City, I sincerely thank you and the Imo State government for your unflinching support and visionary leadership.
The Chief Executive Officer of USMAC, Chris Boris, says the program is designed to prepare participants for the digital economy and global competition.
The future is here in Imo. We together are creating that future to bring prosperity here, to Nigeria, to Africa, and to the world. Our mission, as part of the Founder Dojo program, is said very cleanly here. We are here to help create the next generation of great global founders here in Imo.
With the aim of turning Owerri into a true startup hub, the success of this boot camp will ultimately be measured by the businesses they launch from here and the jobs they create. From Imo Digital City in Owerri, I'm Marachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Governor Hope Uzodinma says sustaining peace in Imo State requires constant vigilance and community participation. He speaks in Owerri as he inaugurates 7,210 members of the Imo State Vigilante Organization, drawn from 656 communities across the state. Again, our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
It is a display of discipline and pageantry at Ndubuisi's Carlo Square in Owerri as Imo State government formally endorsed 7,210 vigilante operatives into service. The operatives, 15 from each community, marched past in a ceremonial parade, marking the end of months of intensive training. Governor Hope Uzodinma says the peace recorded during the last festive season, including the return of normal activities to areas like Okigwe and Olu, shows that focused security efforts delivers results. He explained that the vigilante organizations backed by law strengthen grassroots intelligence and help prevent crime before it occurs.
With this inauguration, we are sending a clear signal to the nation and the world. Imo is open. Imo is safe. I want to assure you, Ndimo, that my administration will jealously protect the new Imo.
The governor urges traditional rulers and community leaders to support the operatives with timely information and warns that the state does not tolerate any attempting to disrupt the public order.
I will advise you do not mistake any authority for an excuse to bully or harass the very people you are paid to protect. Any reckless abuse of power will be met with the full weight of the law.
The Commissioner for Homeland Security, Modestus Osakwe, describes the initiative as a strategic move to improve the safety of lives and properties across Imo State.
Properly structured, trained, and coordinated vigilante operatives, such as those being inaugurated today, serve as the eyes and ears of our communities. They complement conventional security agencies by providing vital local intelligence, rapid response capabilities, and a deep understanding of the terrain and socio-cultural dynamics of our people.
The highlights of the event include a parade, presentation of awards to outstanding trainees, and the handover of operational vehicles to local government areas. From Ndubisi Carlos Square in Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, has warned Nigerians who support terrorists and criminal groups that they will face the full consequences of their actions. Speaking at the Armed Forces Remembrance Golf Tournament in Abuja, Musa stressed that national security requires collective responsibility and citizen cooperation. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oloyede, also urged Nigerians to remain vigilant and support security agencies. 25 victims kidnapped while traveling to attend Eid al-Maulud celebration in Plateau State have been rescued by the Department of State Services. The Plateau State government confirmed that the victims were abducted on December 21, 2025 in Wase local government area by kidnappers posing as vigilantes. The rescued individuals have received medical care and were handed over to local authorities for rehabilitation and support. You're watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. When the Midday News returns, ECOWAS Guinea-Bissau junta hold talks on detainees transition. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Let's quickly take you to the world of business, where the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee has rejected key criticisms by auditing firm KPMG on Nigeria's newly enacted tax laws, describing them as based on policy misunderstandings. The committee said most concerns raised relate to analytical errors, misinterpretation, or deliberate policy choices. It maintained that the reforms were carefully structured to protect investors, enhance competitiveness, and modernize Nigeria's tax system. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has dismissed reports linking increased petrol imports in November 2025 to a breakdown in supply arrangement with marketers. The refinery said it consistently supplied PMS to marketers, increasing volumes from 600 million liters in October to 1.5 billion liters by December. It attributed the surge in imports to licensing decision by the former Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority leadership, not supplying failure. Now from the foreign scene, leaders of the Economic Community of West African State, that is ECOWAS bloc, have held talks with Guinea-Bissau's military junta on the release of detainees and a timeline for a return to constitutional rule following the November coup. Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio and Senegalese President Bassirou Diomaye Faye also met detained and exiled opposition figures as discussion focused on political releases and duration of the transition. The junta has resisted pressure for a swift handover, arguing that a longer security period is needed, while also expressing concern over potential ECOWAS standby force. Protests have intensified across Iran despite a heavy security crackdown that has reportedly left scores dead and thousands arrested over the past week. Videos verified by international media show violent clashes in multiple cities, even as authorities enforce an internet blackout and label protesters enemies of God, an offense punishable by death. The unrest triggered by soaring inflation has evolved into calls for an end to clerical rule, heightening tension between Tehran and Washington. Now in sport, President Bola Tinubu has praised the Super Eagles following their 2-0 victory over Algeria in the quarter-final of the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Nigeria delivered a dominant second-half performance to end Algeria's strong defense run and book a semi-final clash with host Morocco. Tinubu described the win as inspiring as the Super Eagles continue their push for a fourth continental title. Egypt have knocked out defending champions Ivory Coast with a thrilling 3-2 victory in the African Cup of Nations quarterfinals, as Mohamed Salah played a key role in the win. Goals from Omar Mahmoud, Rami Rabia and Salah sealed Egypt's passage to the semi-finals, despite a spirited fight back from the Ivorians. The result sets up a semi-final clash with Senegal keeping Egypt's quest for a record extending its AFCON title alive. And that's it on the midday news. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTVNG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching.